Hello again, Podcats. Today I'm in Hertfordshire and I'm going to see a very, very old friend of mine who I played with for many, many years in the Georgie Fame band. His name is Alan Skidmore, tenor saxophone player, and we're going to chat all about where he is now in his life, looking back on a career that spans nearly 70 years. I'm looking forward to chatting with him, so here we go.
The Quartet Jazz Standards podcast is brought to you by the Quartet app for iOS, taking your jazz play along to another level.
So here we are, Skid. How are you feeling today?
Well, I'm feeling my age a little bit nowadays, Geoff. You know, Nothing I can do about that.
How old are you now, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 83 next month.
Congratulations. Now, we've known each other a long time. We played in Georgie Fame's band together, didn't we, for...
quite a while.
I was in it for 12 years, I think. 13 years. How long were you in there for?
Over 50.
Over 50 years?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I mean, I did a multitude of other things as well at the time. I did a load of work in Europe and around the place with all kinds of European groups. European Jazz Quintet, European Jazz Ensemble. The list is astonishing. There's so many groups, big band.
So how did you get started then? Because I know your dad was a saxophone player, wasn't he? Jimmy.
I didn't really want to play the saxophone, actually. When I left school at 15, I had no qualifications at all. I'd failed everything. And I had a couple of really dodgy day jobs, one in a suit shop, where I thought, it'd be nice to sell a suit to someone. All I got was knob, make the tea, knob, sweep up.
That's what they called you. They called you knob, didn't they?
So I'm on the bus on the way home one day, and for my 13th birthday, I'm 15 now, at this time, and for my 13th birthday, my dad gave me a tenor, which went straight underneath my bed and forgotten about. So I'm on my way home on the bus one day, having done this very dodgy day job, thinking I might try that thing under my bed, give that a go, try it, because I really can't stand what I'm doing at the moment.
Right.
So he said, right, okay, you want to, and he showed me how to put it together and how to put a reed on, and he shut me in my bedroom. He made me practice for hours on end every day, and every time I stopped, he banged.
He was a saxophone player, so he was out gigging and stuff while you were at home, was he?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Did he give you some help?
He showed me how you play a scale.
Yeah.
And then a major scale, and then he said there's 12 of them. That's what you've got to do. You've got to learn all them first. And at the same time, you've got to play long notes to develop a decent sound.
Okay.
And of course, I didn't think about it at the time, but ever since I was a young kid of 5 or 6, there was jazz playing in the house.
Yeah.
All kinds of Lester Young and Coleman, Hawkins and all that. So I don't know whether that kind of entered me. Anyway, it was a pain in the arse. Practicing all the time, watching my mates in the street playing football.
Right.
Anyway, I was upstairs in my room. I played long notes and I learned my scales, and the rest is history. Every time my chops started to hurt, he would make me go downstairs and listen to something.
Wow.
And what I would listen to was albums that he had acquired over the years of people like Paul Gonsalves, Dexter Gordon, Sonny Rollins and all that. So
was he quite a hard taskmaster, your dad? What was your relationship like with him?
He did make me practice. He forced me into practicing.
Okay. And when you're 15, that's not easy, is it?
I turned professional when I was about 16. And what I used to do was, once I'd passed my test, my driving test, I used to drive my dad to all kinds of gigs.
Wow.
When he was a guest with a local rhythm section.
Right.
And of course he would let me sit in And of course, I didn't play that good, but it was a big help.
Gave you confidence, I suppose, doesn't it?
Yeah. He was a good teacher in a way, but I used to drive him everywhere so that he could get well and truly out of it.
Is that right? How did you feel about that? Were you resentful of it at all?
No, I love driving, as it happened.
You do love driving,
and
I know
still
that.
do.
Yeah. You're wearing your Silverstone hat.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
So how did you learn about improvising? Did you study any books, or did you do any transcribing or anything like that?
No, I just listened a
Right.
lot, because
Okay.
my father had an amazing collection of jazz records. So that's how I kind of played along with Dexter Gordon and other people.
So you never wrote anything down or read anything or
No,
done
he
anything
bought
like that?
me a book called The Universal Method for the Saxophone,
Wow.
which I kind of went through. Because once you've learnt all your major scales, you've got to learn all the minor scales, all the diminished scales,
Yeah.
augmented, whole tones.
But there's a lot more to it than just scales, isn't
Absolutely.
there? You know?
Yeah. And then, of course, the thing you learn is phrasing, playing with feeling, as it were.
Well, if you're imitating those greats, then that's one of the things that you pick up, isn't it?
John Coltrane is the greatest saxophone player I've ever heard in my life. and
When did you first
ever
hear
will.
Coltrane? When did you first hear him?
I think it was 1961 when he came to this country.
Wow.
My dad took me to a concert in Walthamstow, but he went to see the Dizzy Gillespie group, which was on in the second half of the concert.
Yeah.
But the first half of the concert was Coltrane's quintet with Eric Dolphy,
Wow.
Elvin Jones.
So you would have been, what, 20 by then? Or
I was 1961. I was 19.
19? Wow.
So
You remember that first
I don't-
experience of seeing him, do you? You
yeah,
remember
he
like-
only played one tune for the whole hour, which was I never heard him in the flesh play the tenor. He played My Favourite Things for an hour on the soprano, of course,
Wow.
and that was the only thing he played on the concert. That lasted an hour,
That's crazy.
and that was it. Yeah, but I knew somehow that what I was listening to was something special, and I didn't know what it was that was special.
Did you understand what he was playing? Did you understand the methods of jazz by this point, or not?
Not that much.
Right.
I just kind of thought, oh, that's good.
Wow.
That sounds good.
Wow.
And I don't know why I thought it's, if you understand me, I don't. And then, of course, one thing led to another, and I became a great, huge fan of Coltrane over the years.
Yeah.
I can honestly say that I've never, ever tried to copy him, but I have been influenced by him.
Yeah.
That's what it is, you know. And the funny thing is, like later on in life, I find out that one of his biggest influences was Dexter Gordon.
Right.
And of course, Dexter Gordon was one of my biggest influences in the early days.
It's a lineage, isn't it? That everyone's got. You can
That's
see a
right,
path.
yeah.
Yeah. Is that the only time you saw Coltrane play?
Yeah, in the flesh.
Wow.
Yeah, it is.
God.
Because he got such a bad press from the Melody Maker.
Because he was going quite avant-garde in the 60s, wasn't he? He was.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, 60, 64, 63, 64, 65,
Yeah.
that period, yeah. With I Love Supreme and Sunship and all those
They're
kind
difficult records, those, aren't they?
albums,
So
yeah.
really are.
yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, all those years later, in the 80s, I get a call from Elvin Jones.
That's right. Yeah.
Could I do 2 weeks with him at Ronnie Scott's?
Wow.
I said, oh, hang on, I'll just see if
I'll just check.
I'll just check.
What was it like
Oh,
playing with
it was
Elvin?
It was just the most amazing experience,
Yeah.
because I can tell you, absolute truth, he was such a lovely person.
Yeah.
An unbelievable, nice, genuine, decent guy. He was
Yep.
really lovely.
I remember playing opposite him quite a few times in Ronnie's with small groups supporting them, you know. I mean, I was such a huge fan, and that was my thing. I really wanted to play with Elvin.
Yeah.
One night I plucked up enough courage to say, can I sit in with the band, you know,
Yeah.
can I have... And he said he was up for it. He said, yeah, of course, you know. And then his wife said, no, we don't do that.
Oh, Keiko.
Yeah, so she stood in and said, we don't do that. So I came this close to playing with him, and I never did.
Oh, wow.
But I watched him every night. Just the
Yeah.
intensity of the way he plays was just...
Well, on the box
Incredible.
set that came out, there's just the one track.
Yeah.
Somebody recorded sitting in the front of the stage.
Yeah. Was it last year that you released this?
Yes.
6 CDs, was it?
Six.
Six
Six
CDs, yeah.
CDs.
An anthology of your career, really.
Yeah.
A lot of the highlights and...
And it was voted box set of the year
Yeah.
in New York.
Amazing.
Yeah, came first
Yeah.
above Mingus and Pharaoh Saunders.
Fabulous, yeah. Yeah. And I'm on it as well.
You are.
I'm on, yeah.
You are. Yeah.
Fantastic. Right. So have you ever done any teaching?
Only sort of summer schools, Barry in South Wales. I did that for a few years running when the head teacher at that period of time was Tony Oxley. He's one of the greatest drummers I've ever played
Yeah.
with, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, the funny thing, this is a true story, Geoff. One night I'm sitting in dressing room at the back of Ronnie's behind the stage, you know, and I said to Elvin, you know, Elvin, you're most jazz drummers' favourite drummer. Who is your favourite drummer? And he said in a flash, Tony Oxley. He must have heard him in the club at some time or another. Maybe Tony had been working in the band opposite him on one of his trips to the club in Frith Street.
I was going to ask you about practicing, but he said you don't really do much practicing, do you?
Not now.
No. Is that a physical thing that's the strength or something?
I just don't fancy. I've done 65 years on the road. I've got half a dozen passports that are almost full up. And as I said, you know, I'm 83 next month, and I don't want to practice.
Right. Just enjoy your
Anymore.
retirement, I suppose. Yeah. Let me tell you a little bit about my apps. A couple of years ago, I made 2 volumes of, they're called Quartet 1 and Quartet 2. Each volume has 150 standards on it, recorded by real musicians,
Yeah.
a trio,
Wow.
plus a soloist, which you can choose to have a soloist. You can choose to have different mixes, so you can have piano, bass, drums, you can have bass and drums, you can have piano and bass, and so on.
Yeah.
But it's multi-tracked, so you can choose which combination you want. There's 150 tunes in the first 2 volumes. All the essential standards that you'd ever want to learn, you know, from Autumn Leaves to All the Things You Are to Giant Steps to blues and everything you need.
Yeah, I see.
We're getting people to play along with them. You'll realise when you hear it, it's a brilliant tool for practicing. So you
Yeah.
can change the key, you can change the tempo.
Yeah.
So I asked you when you came in what tune you'd like to play.
I said, because I haven't picked it up for such a long time, I said, any chance of playing a blues?
Play a blues, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you know, that'll suit me.
So we're
This-
going to play a blues in E flat, right? Concert E flat.
Okay.
Which is, and then we'll talk about the improvising process afterwards.
Okay.
Do you want to stick your headphones on?
Alrighty.
Right, here we go. That's great. How was that?
I don't know.
That was great. That was great.
Was it?
Yeah, it was killing.
All right.
So obviously that's what's interesting about that. That's a 1-4-5 blues, isn't it? Is there anything different that you're playing when you play a 1-4-5?
In the
blues?
early '60s, the first half of the '60s, I played with two groups. One of which was with the Alexis Corners Blues Incorporated.
Right.
And of course, that in those days
Was that a jazz group or was it a?
It was a great group. Yeah, it was Alexis on guitar, voice, Danny Thompson on bass, Terry Cox on drums, Chris Pine on trombone, and myself on tenor. And everything we played was a 5-4-1.
Right.
But some of them were like very, very slow. 1, 2, 3,
Right.
4, that kind of tempo.
Right.
And of course, that was a great learning curve.
Yeah.
And then I was called to do a record session with John Mayall. It's the one with where they're looking at the Beano on the front of the album.
Beano the comic.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And I played the introduction to a piece called Have You Heard, which was a blues. But many, many, many years later, when I was touring Europe with a trio with Tony Oxley and Ali Howrand, that was called SOH. And we shared a couple of gigs with Michael Brecker's group. And I'd already worked with a guy called Peter Erskine, who's the drummer. Mm-hmm. And we're checking into our hotel. And he comes home and says, great to see you. It's getting all that, hugs and things, He said, do you know Michael? And I said, no. I said, but I'd like to meet him. And he was at the desk signing in to the hotel. And he took me over. We shook hands. He said, you're Alan Skidmore? And I said, yeah, I'm sorry, I was afraid so. And he said, well, I have to say thank you to you because it was you that I heard playing a solo with John Mayall that made me want to play the saxophone.
Whoa, that's amazing.
That's a true story.
That's fantastic.
And I swear to God, Geoff, if the ground could have opened up, I would have willingly fell into the hole because I didn't know what to say,
Wow, what can you say? That's amazing.
Yeah. And so we were able to have a nice chat later on. And
right.
He's a really nice guy. And of course, an absolutely magnificent tenor saxophone player.
Incredible,
one of the greatest. For him to say that to me was a huge compliment.
Amazing. So when you're playing that 1-4-5 blues, would you play that slightly different if the rhythm section weren't playing 1-4-5?
Oh, no, you can take liberties. You can free it up. If you're really tearing it apart, there's all kinds of things you can do. But I just particularly like...
I was going to ask you as well, do you ever use lit?
Subliminally, maybe. There's been there's blues, Train composed an amazing amount of fantastic blues. He really did.
Yeah. Well, what you just played then was were kind of composing your own blues, really, weren't you? In the same kind of way.
In a sense, when you're improvising, you know all about that.
Yeah.
From playing the bass, of course.
Yeah.
We spent many years together with Georgie Fame.
We did.
Who, in my opinion, is one of the greatest singers I've ever heard in my life.
Yep, I agree.
Absolutely. Only the other night I was listening to the Birthday Big Band.
Oh, what a great record that was.
And it's a fantastic record.
We did that, yeah. We did that
at double.
The London Town and Country Club, didn't we? And,
yeah.
Yeah, that was amazing. Yeah.
That's right. You can put things up a semitone.
Yeah.
When you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
of course you do.
Yeah.
And tear it apart and make it sound somehow right.
Yeah. I've got a couple of last questions before we finish.
All right.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Do you have a favourite album? I can probably guess what it might be, but if you had to pick one.
There's so many.
Yeah.
I don't actually have a favourite. I suppose the first time I ever heard Chasing the Train at the Village Vanguard was a real lesson. And it took me quite a while, many, many, many years ago, when I was in my 20s. It took me a long time to figure out that it was a blues, actually. And then a friend of mine, I said, how many choruses does he play? Because no one else plays a solo. He plays the theme and the solo and the theme at the end. And he plays 81 choruses.
Wow.
And it took me a while to figure out that it's a blues in F concert. Yeah.
Wow.
I can play it for you.
What, you can play the...
I can play the tune.
Go on then.
And he plays one chorus of it at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then I think at the end, I think he's forgotten.
He's forgotten how the tune goes.
How the tune went. Yeah.
All right. So, what was the last concert you went to? You saw? I mean, we've already talked about you seeing Coltrane. I mean, that kind of covers it, doesn't it? I mean, it sort of
I just saw him the once.
Were there any other great concerts that you saw in the early days?
A lot of the great musicians and things that I've heard and witnessed has been at Ronnie's.
Yeah.
You know, when in the second half of the 60s, I had two jobs. I had one job in the daytime, working with the BBC Radio Orchestra, and then in the evening, I was working at the Talk of the Town with a quartet for dancing, dance music. And in the break, I used to hoof it as fast as I could round to Ronnie's and go downstairs and sit with Sonny Rollins talking. We had some fantastic conversations and we kept in touch, and I've got some lovely cards and letters and messages at home.
Wow.
that he sent me over the years. I mean, Ronnie's was great. You know, so many wonderful musicians played there from America and everything, you know.
Okay, here's a question that's have had some interesting replies for. What do you think your musical weakness might be?
I don't know. Maybe reading.
Yeah?
Reading, yeah. I mean, I can read music, but...
Sight reading.
Sight reading, yeah, because I used to, in the 60s and 70s, I also used to do a lot of sessions. Mm-hmm. With the Beatles and all that kind of thing, and God knows how many.
Did you play with the Beatles? Did you record with them?
Yeah, I did. With Ronnie Scott was in the band, and Ronnie Ross was on the baritone saxophone.
Which album or tracks did you do with the Beatles?
I can't really remember, Geoff, but all I do remember is being in the studio. I mean, it could be. I don't know, is that on Sgt. Pepper's? I got a feeling it was something to do with the Sgt. Pepper's thing. To be quite honest with you, I'm busking a bit here because I can't remember.
Wow.
We're talking about early 60s, second half of the 60s, doing just sessions, getting a call from a fixer to come along
and just showing up and doing it and then going off to the next one.
Yeah, 10 till 1, 2 till 5 and all that kind of thing, which I'm sure you've done.
I kind of came in on the end of it, but I did a little taste of that,
Yeah.
Perfect. Do you ever get nervous on stage?
Sometimes I get a bit nervous, just before the gig, perhaps. But I'm normally okay once I'm into it and I've started... and if it's a good rhythm section, and of course over the years I've done lots of gigs with house rhythm sections, which sometimes is a bit hard.
You have to imagine who you're playing with a good one, don't you? And shut your eyes.
But I've never given them a hard time, because if you give them a hard time, they're going to play worse. Yeah,
that's true. You want to get the best out of musicians, don't you?
Encourage them and. In the interval, you could say, you're doing great, guys,
Absolutely, yeah.
And then in the second half, they can sometimes be better than they were in the first half.
That's a good point, actually. That's a good lesson, actually, isn't it, for people?
Compliment.
Yeah, I've got a few more silly questions, if that's all right. What's your favourite sandwich?
Whoa, crikey. I don't know. Do I have a favourite sandwich? Cheese.
Cheese sandwich.
Cheese sandwich.
You can't go wrong with a cheese sandwich, can you?
A bit of tomato, maybe.
Yeah. Okay. You got a favourite movie?
Psycho.
Wow.
I loved. I thought that was fantastic. Apollo 13,
Okay.
lovely, fantastic. I'm a great fan of that guy,
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
That's it. Thank you.
Excellent. Excellent. Is there a favourite country or favourite city you liked to visit?
I played a lot in Switzerland, every country in Europe, really.
Yeah.
New York, I like.
Of course, yes. Yeah.
Very much.
Yeah.
I've always had a good time there. Philadelphia I played, and Boston, New York, Washington.
And finally, one last silly question for you. What's your favourite chord?
Oh, I don't know. G major 7th. No. I don't have a favourite chord.
It does make people think, though. It's just, I've had a whole mixture of different replies to that one. But
Yeah, I bet you have.
major or minor?
I do like minor.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think that will do it. I think.
Yeah?
Thanks so much for
All right.
making time to
My
come
pleasure.
and talk to us.
Absolutely. Thank you for asking me.
It's so great to see you again.
Thank you for making it to the end of another podcast. Please subscribe if you want to hear more of them as they land. The Quartet Jazz Standards podcast is a UK music apps production. Quartet for iOS, taking your jazz play along to another level. Search for Quartet on the App Store or find out more at quartetapp.com.